folks, Trailblazer here. So I want to do a video today that solves a problem that I found trying to put a roof rack on the fiberglass truck cap on my Ram 1500 pickup truck. So when I bought the truck cap, I found a bunch of different racks that were available, including made by the company that made the actual cap, and there's stuff from like Yakima and so on. All those makers, they sell roof racks that can go on a fiberglass truck cap, but they're expensive, like really expensive. And I didn't want to spend that kind of money. I figured there's got to be a solution out there that's going to give me a nice roof rack and not cost me a ton of money. So I started, of course, looking on YouTube, seeing what I could find. There wasn't much out there. There's a couple, but not much out there. Scoured the internet, didn't really find what I was looking for on there. A couple of ideas, but nothing that really solidly showed me what I needed to do. So I set about it myself. Started at a junkyard and worked my way out from there. So what I want to show you today is how I put a roof rack on top of my truck cap, my fiberglass truck cap, for less than 30 bucks. And I think it's a pretty damn good solution. I wanted to share it with everybody and let them see what I did. So let's check this out. So this is the finished product. This is the solution that I came up with. So went to the junkyard and found what I think is a really good roof rack that fits well. It's easy to remove from the donor vehicle, easy to find because there's a ton of them out there. And this is a rooftop rack off of a Ford Excursion, and I believe they also use these on some of the Windstars. So this would be like a early 2000s model. And what I like about this is it unbolts or unscrews really easy from the donor vehicle and screws onto this really clean, really nice, very simple. You can see it's a really clean installation. It fits just right. The width is perfect for a truck cap. The length that I got off the Ford Excursion, I don't know about the Windstar, but the length on the Ford Excursion was about 8 inches too long, so I had to actually cut the track to fit this, but that's super easy to do with a hacksaw. It's just aluminum, so it cuts really easily. So to get it off, you've got on the front and the back, and I'll show you a little bit more detail, there are like plastic caps that go on the end of the actual metallic rail. And this is just kind of like the finishing plate. And then there are a series of screws, and these are just little Torx screws that are 1 inch long, and they're metal. And there's probably about 10 of them on each rail, but with a Torx and just a bit driver on your DeWalt drill, they come right out. And they've got like nuts already in the ceiling in the Fords. So this just unscrews. There's nothing to disassemble. You take the 2 bars off, and then the bare track, take the screws out and just lift it right off. There's a piece of plastic underneath this rail that buffers between the actual metals, so you don't have 2 dissimilar metals touching each other and get corrosion from that. So there is a plate that slides along here as well that's plastic. But man, this is super easy to get off the donor vehicle, and it's really easy to get back on as well. So to put this back on again, what I did was I measured for finding the center line with the roof rack assembled like you see it here. I put everything together and tightened everything down, and then simply just marked the holes with a silver Sharpie on the dark colored fiberglass, and then I drilled my holes. And these OEM bolts that came with it fit perfectly through the fiberglass here. These are 1 inch long. They're that 6 millimeter by 1 inch metric, and this is just long enough that it goes through the fiberglass. And I bought Nyla bolts for it, and bought a little package of Nyla bolts, and that's what's on the bottom. So from underneath, and I'll show you that here in a minute too, but from underneath it's just the screw going all the way through, and then a nylon bolt on the bottom of it, and that's what holds it to the inside. I did spray paint the crossbars and the track because they were a little bit faded and I wanted them to look nice, so I splurged for $8 on a can of paint and went ahead and spray painted everything with a nice coating of, this is the Rust-Oleum Universal. It's basically primer and paint in one. So 3 coats of this was more than enough, and I had tons of paint left over, so this was really easy to do. But yeah, spray paint to make it look fresh. And the other thing that I did was when I installed the little nuts in here and the bolts, I put a little silicone down first and put a little circle of silicone on the outside and filled the hole with silicone just in case, so I don't get any leaks. So I was a little liberal with that, but you know, it's underneath everything, you'll never be able to see it. So to disassemble this off the donor vehicle, the first thing you do is you undo these 2 little screws on the crossbar for the front. And when those are loose, then this thing will lift up and it comes right out of the track like this. And you can see there's like a little L bracket here that clips into this little plastic piece. So that comes off first. And once you have that off, then you take the backs off. And the back is easy also. You flip these levers up and that allows the piece to move up and down the track. So adjust this forwards and backwards as far as you want. And then to get this off, there's a tab back here. I'll do a close-up here. There's a tab back here that you push down on, and then this piece will slide back off the back of the track. So you can either take the nut out of here, the bolt and nut out of here, and this will come off, and then it comes right off the back of the track. Or if it's already mounted and you want to change this out or move it, you just push down on the little tab back here and this will slide all the way off the back, and then you're good to go. But if you're putting skis up here or you're putting a roof rack up here, you can adjust this one as far forward and backwards as you want. This piece is fixed. Once it's on there, it stays put, it doesn't move. So, and also the donor rack that I found had these nice little tie down points that slide around. So I snagged those off of it as well. Might as well use them. So those are up here as well. So I've got those installed so I can actually bungee things on top if I wanted to. But man, it's clean. It looks really nice. I'm really happy with it turned out. So let's go underneath and I'll show you what I did from underneath, and then you can see how I did the bottom side of this inside the truck cap. So on the inside I did something interesting. Let me show you what I did, because normally you would have just a bunch of nuts sticking through the roof and it's kind of ugly. So I did something useful with it. Let me show you what that looks like. And yes, I installed lights in here as well. So you can see the nuts are here. The bolt sticks through about 1/4 inch. And I put a little black cap on top of that and glued it with the little RTV, a little bit of that silicone. But I put just like a wire grommet on here, and then ran paracord up here. So now you can stick things up in the paracord here, like in the summertime. I'd put my windshield scrapers up here. I live in Minnesota, so we need snow scrapers. Rather than just have them laying around in the back of the truck or whatever, I stick them up here. I usually have camp chairs or a camp stool that I put up inside here, and they sit up there. But you can hang clothes up there to dry if you want. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this. And I think it looks cool with the red paracord. So, but yeah, it went really nicely. So like I said, just a nylon bolt, a little bit of silicone on there, and then a little, these are basically from Closet Made, and they're made to go over the end of like the shelving system that Closet Made does in their closets. I got black ones, but they're just bolt caps. That's all they are. They're small. Cut them to size and put them right on there. So yeah, you can see something useful on the inside. So yeah, super simple, easy to do. Drilled right through the fiberglass. Didn't interfere with the carpeting, didn't have any tears or any pulls or anything like that, but worked out well. And you can see I put lights in here also. I just did LED strip lights in here to brighten it up a little bit. I'll do another video on those. But anyway, so I hope this works for you. Hope you like it.